All right, away from there, now we'll head on to Owerri, Imo State, where following the renaming of the historic Douglas Road to Hope Uzodimma Road, our correspondent John Kennedy Ogbonna has more in this report as it brings us insights on reactions from Imo residents to this road renaming. Take a look.
Douglas Road, one of the busiest and most historic streets in the city of Owerri, is now being planned to be renamed Hope Uzodimma Road. According to the State House of Assembly, this change is as a recognition of the governor's contribution to infrastructure and development. While lawmakers describe this as a gesture of honor, some residents say this does not reflect the will of the people.
On September 9, 2025, the Imo State House of Assembly resumed plenary after a 3-month recess and passed a motion directing the state government to rename Douglas Road after Governor Hope Uzodimma. The executive chairman of the Owerri Municipal Local Government Council was tasked with implementing the decision. The House also mandated relevant government agencies to reflect the new name across all official documents, signage, and records. The motion, sponsored by Honorable Chisom Ojoku, representing Nkwere constituency, argued that the road's original namesake, Harold M. Douglas, the first 6th Street Commissioner of Owerri Province in 1902, was a colonial administrator known for violent rule, forced labor, and brutal crackdowns. Historically, records and oral accounts tied Douglas to the Eziama massacre in 1904 and the War on Owerri in 1905 and the Ahira massacre in 1905.
If anybody knows the history of the man Douglas, you will not allow the name to stay one more day. I mean, you'll be questioning why our leaders didn't do it decades ago. I think the Imolites and Nigerians in general are supposed to be taught about the antecedents of the man Douglas, who was the district commissioner of Owerri province at the time. He precisely was on the saddle between 1902 to 1906. He was a despot. He was a tyrant. His atrocities were untold. He killed people from Eziama to Ahira, Mbise, and several places. Even the Douglas Road you're talking about, there's something called Douglas Wall. And it was as a result of the resistance of the people, the Igbos at the time, who resisted the way the man ruled Owerri province at the time. And he declared war on them. Killed a whole lot of persons, buried people alive. I do not know why we should even name somebody after we cannot give a landmark street, as it were, after somebody like that. Yes, we cannot erase that history, but we cannot also landmark atrocity. So renaming Douglas is one key thing that should have been done decades ago. It should have been done at the end of the colonial era.
While Mr. Henry Ofe agrees with the name change, he also raises concern about the broader implication of such actions.
Naming the street after Hope Uzodimma, for me, is sacrifice. For me, I think people shouldn't arrogate honor to themselves. Someone will say, okay, the State House of Assembly was the one that renamed the street after Hope Uzodimma. That's because of their sacrifice. We should call question what is it that the government has done. And even if you feel the government has done well, I think it is a subsequent government, a succeeding government, that should look back and say, this our leader did so much for us. So for that reason, we should immortalize him, as it were. Naming Douglas after Hope Uzodimma, for me, like I said, is an act of sacrifice. There are so many other Imolites who have done so well, who have contributed so highly, that we could have renamed it after, or name it anything, even if you don't want to name it after anybody.
For many, the renaming is perceived as an erasure of history rather than a correction of it. A local photographer, Bokish Onyemukuru, believes that even if it is renamed, people will still stick to its initial name.
We cannot talk about Imo State as a whole without talking about Douglas Road. Already. I think there are 3 major roads that we have, which this Douglas Road is one of them. So it's very bad. They better not do it. They better not implement whoever that wants to do it. But even if you do it, I believe that Douglas will still be Douglas. Till tomorrow, till whenever Douglas will still be Douglas. That's what has been known for right from the start. And that's what is supposed to be.
Goodness Chiamaka, a resident, also voiced her concerns, saying it is of selfish interest.
Unfortunate though that we want to name a road, Hope Uzodimma's road. I think it's for selfish interest. It's a government road anyway, so I don't think it's a personal establishment. It should be named Imo State something or any other thing that concerns Imo State. Naming it Hope Uzodimma, like it's so selfish, like so selfish. I think we should look for any other name.
For others like Kizi Chukwem Ebuka, Douglas is also a signatory name and shouldn't be changed for any reason.
For me, it's very wrong. This change of name, I will say I don't buy it because Douglas is now like a signatory name. You understand? People for a very long time, even right from the inception of when I was born, and I can remember the history of why it's being called Douglas. You understand? So I feel like it is wrong changing that name because now it's like it's a signatory name. Even people in diaspora. Imagine someone in diaspora coming back only to find out that the place is no longer being called what it's been known for. You understand? I don't think it's a good idea for them to change the name. You can as well look for maybe an estate or maybe any other road and name or even the government house. If you want, you can use the government house as it and name the road by his name, but not Douglas, because Douglas is like a signatory name.
Beyond the streets, social media has been abuzz with criticism. Some users have labeled the lawmakers as sycophants, arguing that governance should prioritize infrastructure and development over symbolic gestures. For many residents, this controversy goes beyond a name. It touches on identity, heritage, and the unresolved challenges they still face along the very road in question. In Owerri, Ogbonna reporting for Afia TV.